And you're watching TNN.
Welcome back, TNN. Before we get into this week's theme, here's a recap of all the candidates.
Whatever happened to predictability? The milkman, the paperboy, the evening TV. How did I get delivered here? Somebody tell me, please. 'Cause this whole world is just really confusing me. Clouds as mean as you've ever seen. Ain't a bird that knows your tune. Then a little voice inside of you whispers, kid, don't sell your dreams so soon. Everywhere you look, everywhere you go, there's a heart, a hand to hold on to. Everywhere you look, everywhere you face, somebody who needs you. La 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 la. Whatever happened to the good old days? Talking to friends for hours, swore it'd never go away. Now I'm feeling a little crazy, trying to fit in with the scene. 'Cause how do you know where you're going if you really don't know who you've been? Everybody eventually says that they're as lost as you. So everybody shout it together. Hey, don't sell your dreams so soon. Everywhere you look, everywhere you go, there's a heart, a hand to hold on to. Everywhere you look, everywhere you go.
We hope you enjoyed getting to know the candidates.
So what are we going to learn about them this week?
This week is very important. We'll hear about very important policies that impact us every day.
What? Food?
No, more important than that.
Then sleep. Oh, I know, it's health.
Well, health is very important, but we'll hear about more important stuff, which is the education, get it, we're in school every day, and environment, which includes air that we breathe every day.
Let's get right into it with the Jeopardy game.
Wait, we have to figure out who's versing who. We can make opposing candidates play against each other. I have just a thing. Blessing that cup, you should have the names of the candidates. Pick two.
Okay, first we have Tina Forty, and next we have AOC.
Hi, today we are playing Jeopardy! Each candidate will get a chance to choose a category and a point value. The higher the points, the more difficult the question. And if they get the question correct, they will be awarded those points. Candidates have to answer with the format "what is" followed by the answer of the question.
To my right is the Republican candidate, Tina Forty, running for the House of Rep, District 14. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great too.
And to my left, we have Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the Democratic candidate running for District 14 House of Representatives. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Thanks, I'm good too. So we will begin by playing a game of rock, paper, scissors to determine which candidate goes first. Candidates?
Rock, paper, scissors.
Okay, so Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has won, so she will get to pick the category and the number.
I'll do Big Apple Learning 200.
Oh, also candidates, please remember that your hand should be here, and then whoever raises their hand first will get picked to choose the question. If not, the other candidate can steal. This New York elite university was caught using misleading data by one of its own faculty members to earn a higher ranking.
What is Columbia University?
Congratulations, 100 points to Tina Forty.
200.
200 points to Tina Forty.
I will choose Go Green 300.
an international treaty on climate change adopted in 2015?
What is the Paris Agreement?
That is correct. 300 points to AOC.
Are you smarter than a fifth grader? 100.
Our last one of the day.
How many nouns are in the sentence, the rabbit ran to the cafeteria and ate a big salad?
AOC.
What is 3?
Congratulations.
Socialism.
300 points to AOC. So the winner of today's Jeopardy game is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Thank you. Wow. I would like to say thank you to my competitor for this nice, healthy competition.
You had a good match.
Great match. Also when I win the general election.
Okay.
In the next clip, we will have AOC's 20 seconds to promote her campaign, along with Tina Forte's 10 seconds.
For education, I really want to make sure that public schools get proper funding and don't get any budget cuts. I'm also a big supporter of College for All Act to make sure that public colleges are free and cancellation of all student debt, because I think it's important for college to be accessible. For environment, I'm a great big advocate for the Green New Deal. I want to make sure that we can lower carbon emissions and promise workers in sustainable fields high-wage union jobs. Thank you.
Unlike AOC, I support the SHSAT, specialized schools, public schools, and charter schools. And I do not support the Green New Deal. We do not have the funds for it, and it will turn the US into a third world country. So on election day, come on shorty, vote for 40.
Wow, the game was very fun. Why don't we check out what the field crew has garnered for us?
Hello TNN, welcome back. We are here for week 2 of the election simulation. Our theme for this week consists of education and the environment. So here we have the candidates running for District 7, Ms. Nydia Velasquez and Mr. Juan Pagan. And before we get started, please quickly introduce yourselves and your campaigns. So Ms. Velasquez, we'll start with you.
Okay, well, hello, I am Nydia Velasquez. I'm running to represent New York's 7th Congressional District, and I'm also running for re-election as I am an incumbent and have actual political experience unlike my opponent.
Hello, my name is Juan Pagan. I'm also running for New York's 7th Congressional District on the Republican Party. I am a lifelong New Yorker, unlike some of the candidates here, and I have actually been on this scene and I know what we have to be addressing together as a district.
Okay, so we will first address the issue of education. The first question is, how do you plan to address the educational concerns in your region? And tell us a little bit about your policies that you plan on implementing. So Ms. Velasquez.
Okay, yes. So I think when we mention education, one thing that definitely comes to mind is student loans. And I try to incorporate the concept of entrepreneurship. I think that's really important in a young individual, and the concept of student loans. So I've actually endorsed and introduced many bills regarding student debt. For example, I do have a bill introduced in 2021 regarding young entrepreneurs getting their loan debt excused, or some means for them to have that lessened as they are developing in this world of business and economy, and they need that sustainability and stability in order for them to succeed in this world.
And Mr. Pagan, how do you plan to address the educational concerns in your region?
I probably think that Ms. Nydia has jumped the gun when talking about education. I also try to focus on the more local aspect, looking at the high school, trying to go help our students at an earlier age. I think a large discussion within New York right now is like the specialized high schools, like how we're getting properly funded, because the people who are watching this is how we are addressing our own concerns. In the regards of like school funding, like for example, PSAL, any changes have been happening, I think that we have to allocate more funding, increasing what is our specialized high school roster, as there have been concerns with just adding more students in. I also want to increase funding for this the facilities inside the school and making sure that each student has a wide variety of multiple types of like outlets that they can use. For example, add more arts within the schools, add more after-school programs so that we can explore these interests further.
In terms of issues pertaining to the environment, the first question is, what are your plans to combat climate change?
Okay, well, first quickly I would like to do a little segue. This kind of coincides with education, but I have introduced a bill to get more plant-based, earth-friendly, and healthy school lunches into school, not only because it's good for children. A lot of children suffer from diabetes or other illnesses pertaining to unhealthy foods that they might consume in the school buildings. And it also has that environmental aspect of it as well, as they are plant-based meals, better for the environment, so better all around. In regards to the environment in general, I'm endorsed by Triage, which is a great young activist group of leaders who not only try to combat climate justice, but also social justice and discrimination along with it. So I think working with them will be very effective in the future.
Mr. Pagan, what are your plans to combat climate change, and how are you going to enforce this effectively?
Well, as the focus on climate change, which Lydia Blasas has refused to in her previous statement, I am very concerned with energy consumption because, as we know, like the fossil fuel energy is very detrimental to our environment and has progressed climate change rapidly in recent years. Right now, New York City uses barely 1% renewable sources, so I am looking to advocate for a larger looking into solar energy and just these renewable sources so that we can prolong our energy supply and make sure that we will become sustainable for the long-term future.
Thank you so much for your time. Here, once again, we have Ms. Nydia Velasquez and Mr. Juan Pagan. Do you have anything to say to our viewers, TNN?
Yes, so remember on election day, don't be mid, vote for NID. We do have our music video being released soon for our response video to Mr. Pagan's 7 Red. It's called You Thought You Could Beat the Blue, and it turns out that he can't. So stay tuned.
Okay, now follow myself in my campaign at Juan Pagan, THHS. And on election day, remember, Democrats be gone, vote for Pagan. And I have already created a response video to that as well, so look forward to that on November 1st.
I'm getting really hungry. Is that chicken I'm smelling?
I smell it too. Maybe I can get a bite or two. Hello everyone, I'm your host Tijan, and today I'm here with the candidates running to represent New York's 11th Congressional District.
Hi, my name is Nicole Maliotakis.
And hi there, my name is Max Rose.
And welcome back to our channel where we will be having Popeyes for our mukbang.
Thanks. So, there's been a lot of talk regarding the high school application process. So, what are some of your thoughts on the concerns regarding the SHSAT and lottery system?
Well, in my opinion, I believe that the SHSAT and programs like gifted and talented programs are extremely crucial to continue in middle schools and high schools, because in order for students to obtain a higher level of education, they need to be in these specialized high schools where they can compete with other students that are at their academic level. And in order to sustain this, we can provide more funding in middle school so that students feel more prepared to take these tests.
I believe that students should have more options to express themselves outside of academics and show what they're capable of.
Answer the question, Max. So, are you for the SHSAT?
Oh, I'm definitely against, obviously. What about college?
All right, enough guys. Next question. So, what are your plans for combating climate change?
I believe that carbon is the main demolisher of our climate. That is why I will aim for a carbon-free economy by 2040. That includes leaning off of fossil fuel-powered electricity and aiming for more battery-powered and renewable energy source power.
Well, so what I'm hearing is that you support the Green New Deal?
Yes.
How do you think we can fund these programs? Do you want to tax small businesses even more than they are already?
We can have organized climate groups.
And to wrap things up, what are some of your policies regarding this week's theme of education and the environment?
Okay, this is too good. Just oh my gosh. Anyways, first thing first, I am supporting the project that is building the East Shore Seawall, which is going to protect our Staten Island residents from superstorms like Hurricane Sandy.
I humbly like to agree. That was just very surprising. I never thought Republicans and Democrats can actually agree. Not if, but when our next hurricane will strike, I will also be funding the project to build the East Seashore Wall to act as a barrier to protect Staten Island and Brooklyn against heavy rain. Are you okay? Are you okay? Tijon, are you okay?
Okay, move out the way. Please like and subscribe and follow our show for next week.
Are you okay?
This is so good.
Hey, where did my wig go?
Hey, my name is Tekla. I'm from Bo Crew 2, and today we're here interviewing Chuck Schumer. How you doing?
I'm doing good, and I hope Townsend Harris is doing good too.
All right, great. So, to get right into it, my first question is, how do you plan to address the educational concerns in your region?
First, I'll talk about early childhood education. My opponent, Joe Pinion, likes to say that I neglect childhood education, and as a result, reading literacy rates in New York are going down. However, first and foremost, as someone who is married to the literal CEO of New York Public Libraries and a former vice chancellor, I can tell you I value education very, very much. I have done plenty to support early education and have resisted Republican efforts to suffocate and defund public education throughout my time as senator. My plan is to fund education with programs like the Head Start plan, which provides $3,600 per child to families so that education can be more equitable. But education doesn't just include students. What about the teachers? According to the UFT, the average teacher spends $300 of their personal dollars every school year, and that goes up to $580 for new teachers and teachers switching grades. The Schumer-supported Teacher Expense Deduction Act puts those dollars back into the teachers' pockets so they can invest it into their classroom. By allowing teachers to claim those expenses on those taxes, I am supporting education as well. And I also have a broader goal to reach the point where teachers no longer have to spend their personal money in order to have a good classroom. My campaign supports more tax cuts for our workers and not rich corporations. Thank you.
All right, yeah, that sounds great. So my second question is, what is your proposal for tackling student loan / student debt for those in higher education?
So I have already canceled up to 10,000 of I'm sorry, can I start over?
Yeah, keep rolling. Just keep it rolling. It's
Okay, so I have already worked to cancel up to $10,000 of student debt, but I will continue to work with other politicians like Senator Warren to pressure President Biden to use his executive powers to cancel up to $50,000 of student debt. No vote necessary. This will close wealth gaps, provide economic relief to so many Americans, and revitalize our economy, not to mention reconcile education access in Black and brown communities which are greatly affected by student debt.
All right, so my last question is, what are your plans to combat climate change?
I believe that we need bold action to combat climate change. My agenda is to make sweeping investments in sustainable infrastructure with the goal in mind to eventually move America from gas and make it a carbon neutral economy. I have already passed the Manchin-Schumer deal, aka the Inflation Reduction Act, that invested $300 billion in clean energy. But I also have the American Jobs Plan, which would invest $2 trillion in our roads, highways, bridges, and public transit, eliminate lead pipes in drinking water, expand high-speed broadband so every American can access it, and retrofit old homes and buildings to increase affordable housing. It provides funding for restoring and conserving public lands, waters, and invest in a modernized electrical grid so we're 100% powered by clean energy sources like wind and solar by 2035.
Hi guys, introduce yourselves.
Hi, we're Triage. We're a youth-led group advocating for climate justice, and we push elected officials to prioritize legislation related to the environment. And we also believe that this climate justice cannot come without social justice, so we also push for legislation that prioritizes communities of color.
So what environmental issues does your group combat?
So our main goals are to mitigate climate change by pushing for legislation like the Green New Deal, which emphasizes the reduction of carbon emissions, the use of renewable energy, the uplifting of social welfare programs, and also putting millions of people into jobs that help the nation's infrastructure grow.
So how do you guys plan on tackling these issues to improve the environment?
So we plan on tackling these issues mainly by endorsing candidates that push for environmentally conscious policies.
So what candidates does your group support?
We endorse Kathy Hochul for Governor of New York, AOC for District 14, and Nydia Velázquez for District 7.
Any final words?
You can follow us on TikTok and Instagram at THS Triage for more giveaways and everything else.
Thank you.
Wait, support Triage, save the Earth! Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1.
Support Triage, save the Earth!
Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Nate Cruzada, and today we're here with Leticia James is joining us, the Attorney General.
Yes, thank you for having me, guys.
Yeah, no problem. I just had a few questions that I'd really like to ask you. How do you plan to address the educational concern?
Right, so New York State is one of the most diverse states in our country, and as a result, it is home of many undocumented immigrants, and they face discrimination and bias on a daily basis, and I believe this is a very big issue in our state. So therefore, I propose sending letters to school officials. So these letters, the purpose of these letters is that they will outline our state's priority to create safe and fair environments for all students, free of this bias and discrimination. And this is one of my top priorities currently.
Next up, I'm just wondering what your proposal is for tackling student loans and student debt.
Yeah, that's a great question. As a lawyer, I have gone through university and law school, so I do understand how all this debt could lead to it will prevent people from creating a sense of financial stability in their lives. So therefore, I have created a coalition of 8 other attorney generals in the USA, and we have begun to urge President Joe Biden to actually cancel federal student loans and federal student debt for all students and who have borrowed money from the federal student loans.
And last up, what are your plans to combat climate change?
Right, so climate change is currently escalating to a point of no return, and this is a big issue, and I am a fierce advocate for environmental justice. So I have sued Trump's EPA so they can abide by these environmental laws because they haven't been, and they haven't been abiding by the Hudson River cleanups, which is required, and hopefully this will prevent smog from coming in from out of state and make New York cleaner overall.
How will you enforce this?
Right, so I have actually sued Trump numerous times to create this abiding by the law, and in addition my office has taken hundreds of legal actions to protect key environmental protection plans in our country and New York.
Well, thank you for having us today, Leticia James.
Yes, thank you so much.
And now we have an ad break in the next
clip. I'm in Georgia, waiting for you to vote for me. I'm always listening to all your wishes and needs. Brian thinks he knows your concerns like I do. He has no taste and is two-faced. He banned abortion and makes a fortune. Dreaming about the day when you wake up and find that what you're looking for has been here the whole time.
Immigrants.
The people who have worked tirelessly to come to the U.S. and build the foundation of the country.
Immigrants.
People who have been economically and systematically oppressed by the country they fantasize about.
We are the immigrants who are going to flip the script. Fellow citizens, we are setting a new range, because we are the New York Communities for Change.
Hey y'all, I'm Brian Kemp, current governor of Georgia, and I'm running for re-election. With the recent pandemic year, grades came from this to this. Loss caused by the pandemic is a serious issue. This is why I propose the Learning, Loss, Opportunity, Scholarship Grant. The LLOSG, or the LOGS, will provide $25 million to eligible schools so students can get back on track. Vote for me, Brian Kemp. It is meant to be Kemp.
This country used to be a land of opportunity, but now we're being overrun with government bureaucracy, inefficiency, and corruption. But at the Cato Institute, our world-renowned libertarian think tank strives for change. To restore our former glory, we need to abolish tyrannical government agencies, stop wasting your tax money on bombing people in the Middle East, and establish the freest market in the world. At CATO, we make things go.
Wow, Tijan, you just betrayed us with mukbang.
We should have fun ourselves too. Let's see what are commonly asked questions on Google about candidates Stacey Abrams and Brian Kemp.
Hi, this is Stacey Abrams running for governor of Georgia.
Hello, I'm Brian Kemp, current governor of Georgia, and I'll be running for re-election.
And this is the TNN autocomplete interview. Does Stacey Abrams have a college degree? Yes, I in fact do. I graduated from Spelman College with a master's in interdisciplinary arts, which is including political science, economics, and sociology, and I also graduated Yale with a Juris Doctor.
What education bills did Brian Kemp sign? I personally signed the GEAR, which is a COVID relief bill, which gave over $47 million to support higher education. Additionally, I have given $15 million to 9,000 paraprofessionals who are in the process of becoming teachers, cutting their costs of becoming a teacher by 2/3. Lastly, I gave $25 million more dollars to the school system to buy more student counselors and more school staff.
Does Stacey Abrams support the Green New Deal? I in fact do. I believe it will help combat climate change, specifically in Georgia, by creating new green jobs. This will help boost the economy and lower unemployment.
How does Brian Kemp support post-secondary education? I support post-secondary education with the HOPE Act, which over the last 8 years gave roughly $12.6 billion to 2 million Georgia residents to help to pay for college. Additionally, with my GEAR program, I gave roughly $47 million to help Georgia residents recover from COVID.
Does Stacey Abrams have plans for education? I do. One way would be to create universal pre-K for all Georgians. I would also like to increase the salaries for teachers from approximately $39,000 to $50,000, which will help improve the quality of education for my teachers as they'll be properly paid. This will also help encourage people to apply for the profession of education. And lastly, I would like to extend parental leave from 3 weeks to 3 months, which will help improve the qualities of teaching, as if teachers are happy, students will also be happy.
What are Brian Kemp's initiatives to combat climate change? My initiatives to combat climate change are by supporting green companies and by supporting green technologies. For example, I have given roughly $4 billion in money to help companies create better battery technologies, better electric vehicles, and ways to make our planet greener. Additionally, as a result of the fact that Georgia isn't exactly the most, let's say, carbon-producing state, we can be more lax on some green policies to help the fight with climate change.
Does Stacey Abrams support Biden's loan forgiveness plan? I in fact do. By doing so, it helps to provide low-income families with the opportunity to fund their children in getting higher education. More specifically, it aligns with many of my views, such as free technical college in Georgia, as well as giving need-based scholarships to those who need it. This helps to improve the quality of education and helps to improve education as a whole.
What did Brian Kemp talk about within the WIT Clean and Beautiful conference? What I talked about was to investors, opening roughly 50,000 new jobs and roughly $21 billion in investment into Georgia for new clean initiatives. Additionally, I talked about how Georgia was one of the best states to grow a family and to make a new life. Lastly, what I talked about was switching away from dirty sources of energy like coal oil to cleaner sources like renewables and natural gas, which have been proven to reduce carbon output by roughly 75%.
This week we're having a lot of fun.
Facts. My cheeks are hurting by how much I laughed.
Yeah, it must be fun eating all those chicken nuggets alone.
Anyway, getting back to having fun, you all should see the fun times we have together.
Just say something.
Does it look
Hello.
like
Just read off of it.
Yes, welcome back, TNN.
Hello.
Before we get into this week's theme, here's a recap of all our
Can we
candidates
leave
in
at
case
3?
you forgot.
Ready? Take one.
Hello everyone, I'm your host Tijan. I got a note. Sorry.
Take two. Ready?
Wait, but I don't know the questions.
Oh my god!
Yeah, we can come.
Okay. Take two.
Hello everyone, I'm your host. Oh wait, I should have started. Okay.
Bro!
You gotta give it like a second.
Okay, ready? Take 3.
Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Tijan. Whoa, I didn't. Sorry.
Tijan!
I almost said my whole government. Sorry.
Okay.
Take 4.
Quiet. Take 4.
Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Tijan, and today I'm here with the candidates running to represent New York's 11th state No, I got this. This is the one.
Ready? Take 6.
Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Tijan, and I'm here with the candidates running to represent New York's 11th state congressional
State? New York's 11th
This is hard. Like,
I get we have an hour now.
Congressional district. 11th congressional district. Okay.
Ready? Alright, guys, quiet. Take 7.
Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Tijan, and I'm here with candidates running to represent 11th.
Oh my god!
You need to pick up New York's 11th congressional district.
11th congressional.
Oh my god. She said she's Tijan, you're Nicole Maliotakis, and
Ow, this thing is so itchy.
Why don't we plug up?
I got it. New York's 11th congressional district.
Yeah.
Running to represent New York's 11th congressional district.
Yes.
Okay.
Ready?
take 8.
3, 2, 1. Take 7.
Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Tijan, and I'm here with candidates running to represent New York's 11th congressional district.
Hi, my name is Nicole Maliotakis.
Hi, my name is Max Rose.
And welcome back to our channel where we will be having Popeyes for our mukbang.
Thanks.
Okay, we done.
Hopefully you know the candidates' policies on education and environment better now.
Yeah, the 26 different ones.
We are your 2022 Election Sim hosts.
Stay tuned.